Easy guys, so one of the things I never got around to was making some videos on how to make money on the side, how to make money via side hustles. This is something that I was very good at and ended up making enough money on the side to then invest into the markets that went on to change my life. So hopefully as we go into a bear market, it's actually a really good time to study these kind of things because, it's not actually chucking money in stocks and crypto that will change your life. It's actually generating revenue, generating income that's going to change your life and open the doors to other opportunities like investment opportunities and crypto opportunities, etc. And I feel like that's something that I was good at. And I'm going to talk about sort of my journey because obviously I was doing delivery driving as a side hustle in between uni. You can see some of my posts here, 10-hour night shift, straight to uni, kill me. It was very hard. It was very difficult. I was doing all night. I was working all night. You see the sun's coming up here, and then I was going straight to university and trying to finish my degree, and I was so dead and so tired. But the money I was making, I was able to chuck that into the market. I was able to invest. So this isn't much of a side hustle. This is more taking advantage of no sleep, which is not healthy, and it's not for everyone. Actually, one of the kids who started on the vans with us, he literally got out on his first night and walked home because it is grueling, some of this work, some of this delivery work. So yeah, we're going to talk about it, how I ended up going from the delivery driving to working at a crypto exchange. Here's me at the blockchain convention in Europe with the rest of the team from the crypto exchange. And the things that I would do now, right? So I wouldn't do delivery driving now as a side hustle. AI wasn't around back then, right? So you guys are really blessed with AI because I didn't have AI at the time and I would have absolutely capitalized on this. And I probably would have been working 3 or 4 or 5 jobs if I had AI, right? Because now every single person on the planet has a PhD in pretty much any subject. And not only that, AI can teach you how to do anything. So whatever you want to be, you've pretty much got one of the best teachers in the world that can train you at anything whatsoever. It can even create your CV for you, right? Which we'll talk about because I did end up using it later. I didn't have access to AI back then. Obviously, it wasn't around at the time. I was studying AI and music, how AI works with music back at university, but we didn't have a lot of the top tools like Grok and Gemini that you guys have today. It was very primitive back then. So yeah, let's get into it. So first of all, the way I used to think about it when I started my delivery driving job, the way I I was watching crypto videos as well, right? And the way I looked at it is, I think I posted here, I witnessed people make 100x because obviously in the last cycle things were going absolutely crazy. I witnessed people make 100x, and I realized if I just had $2,000 and I followed them in that specific investment, I would have 200k. So that was the real game changer for me. I was quite suspicious about crypto and I didn't really believe it. I was quite pessimistic. I said, someone tried to get me into crypto and I was like, it sounds too good to be true. And I'd hear rumors like so-and-so made $1 million, made 500k. And I was like, yeah, whatever. But then I actually got involved and I watched some of the predictions and I watched someone say, I've put X amount in this investment and I think it's going to 100x, and it did 100x, right? And I watched it before my very eyes, and I realized that if I'd have just copied that, I would have not had to work again. And that changed the game for me. I was like, okay, this is very real. Yes, there's odds here that this might not happen or that might not happen. But I watched projects in the top 100, so probably in the top 100 altcoins. I watched things go 20x, 30x, 50x, 60x. And this was just in the top 100, right? It wasn't like it was 1 in 10,000. There was multiple coins in the top 100 that would have changed my life. Okay, so then I started to realize, wow, if 20% of these or 30% of these are going up 20, 30, 40, 50x, I got a 1 in 7 chance here, or a 1 in 8, maybe lower than that, right? Maybe 1 in 6, 1 in 7 chance of actually changing my life here. And that's what really changed the game for me. And I decided to work my arse off. and get this night shift job where I could make extra money. Now, the night shift job, I mean, maybe it is for you. Maybe you're a driver. Maybe you've done driving work. I really liked it. I really liked the driving job because not only was I, making extra money. So I was making extra money on the side per month to invest into the markets. I was also studying crypto. So I was treating this like a free university. So every night I was actually excited, even though I was tired and run down, I was excited to go and do this delivery shift because I was doing probably 8 to 10 hours a night, 6 days a week. And every single shift, I would listen to crypto podcasts. I would listen to YouTube videos, right? Just plug it in the van or plug it in my headphones. And I would do 8 to 10 hours a day. So every day I finished that shift, I came out learning more about risk management, market cycles, fear, greed, discipline, how to find gems, things to look for, fundamental analysis, technical analysis. So I was leveling up every single day, and my trades were getting better as well, right? Every week, because obviously I was doing 10 hours, 6 times a week. So I was doing like 60 hours a week. It was pretty much a free university. Obviously, it was like a university I was getting paid to go to, right? I actually enjoyed it because I was earning money, I was learning, and then I could put that money back into the markets and I can invest. And then I obviously was in at the right time as well. And then Cardano started to go up and Ethereum started to go up. We got into Ethereum around $200 and I think it went all the way up to like $4,000. So it was an exciting time for me. I was making extra money. I was learning about investing for the first time. I never even knew what inflation was, right? It's sad to say that. I'd been to school, I'm at university, and I still didn't know what inflation was at the time. I hadn't learned anything about investing, and I was in my 30s back here, which is kind of disgusting, really. No one at school had taught me about investing, inflation, fiat, depreciation of fiat, assets, how to build your money, how to build wealth, how the rich build wealth, risk management. Like, it's kind of crazy that we weren't even taught about risk management with money at school. So I was really excited. It was like I was learning this whole new world about how to make money. And this whole new world, if I apply myself to it and I try and study as much as possible, is going to put me in a situation where I don't have to work anymore, right? Where I am now. Technically, I don't have to work anymore. I do because I absolutely love this. But now it worked out, right? And it was a dream. Now, not only was I learning from the YouTubers, from the podcasters, I was also daydreaming about their lives, right? So I had some hope. I was watching them in Dubai, going around racetracks in Dubai, driving nice cars, living this luxury life, chilling at the beach, going to these lovely places. And it was very inspirational, right? Because I'm in the freezing cold, tired. This is when my van broke down on the side of the road and I was really like giving up on life. I was really, really tired, and I was watching these people in Dubai, not just in Dubai, but they're traveling the world. And it was really inspiring to me, and it kept me going. So there was 3 different things there, right? I was inspired, I was motivated. I realized that some of these guys, one of them was Carl the Moon I was watching, and he used to work in retail. He used to work in a retail store. And I remember thinking to this guy, about this guy. I was thinking, how young is this kid? Because he must have been he was younger than me. He's like 23, 24 or something. He was making millions and millions in crypto. And, all he had was experience, right? He didn't have like this super IQ. He didn't go to Harvard. He was working in a grocery store. He was the average person. And then there was Crypto that I was watching, and he used to be a taxi driver, which was also motivating because I was a delivery driver. And I was thinking, there's no difference between me and these people. They weren't born with an insanely high IQ. There's no difference between me and them except they've studied. That's the only difference. And if I study more than them, because I'm doing 60 hours a week in my van, right? If I do 60 hours a week for 2 years, 3 years, technically, I don't think anyone's going to have outstudied me. And that's kind of what I did. And I became very good very fast. I think some people even came into my group and said, I said I've been trading for 2 or 3 years when I started my group, probably a few years back. And someone said, it sounds like you've been trading 10 years, with your risk management, and you're only using tiny percentages to trade with. And I said I just studied so much. I did study a lot. And for some reason, my mind absorbed it. I was very good at taking it in and remembering it. Maybe because my brain was like, we need to make money. We need to remember this stuff. I don't know. But we done very well, very fast. And I really liked that. I really liked the delivery job because I was able to study. Now, if you're working from home on a laptop, it's going to be very, very difficult. So the other strategy is to work 2 jobs from home, which we're going to get into. It's very difficult to watch podcasts and study whilst you're doing admin tasks, right? Because that's probably the best way to make money at the moment. We're going to talk about the things I would do, but social media manager, it's going to be very hard to do this and multitask whilst listening to podcasts. So you're going to have to think about what's more important to you, learning the educational side whilst doing a manual labor job, which is going to limit how much you can make, right? It's going to limit your earnings, and it's also going to run you down. You're going to be tired if you're doing it alongside your normal job, or maybe you're at university or whatever. So have a think about what would work for you if you are going to do one of these. But money-wise, you're going to make a lot more money by using AI and by doing some of these things. Social media manager, I know if everything went down for me, I could make 10, 15k a month doing social media management, right? And any of you could too. So that's probably going to be where we talk about the most on this channel when we're talking about side hustles, but we'll get into it. I'll deep dive into it. So yeah, that's what I was doing on the road. Really changed my life. I was making money. I was buying assets. I was obviously, it was my first cycle, so I definitely made mistakes. I took profits. I did take profits. A lot of people obviously held theirs down to the ground. I'd studied about greed and how most people lose. I tried to learn from other people's mistakes before I made those mistakes. So then eventually I'm listening to one of these podcasts, going to uni, I'm doing the delivery driving, and then Ivan on Tech, who I've literally watched probably his show for every episode, I think, since I started. So, we're talking about 5 years, right? 2020. We're talking about 5 years. I've watched every single episode for 5 years. And one thing he said one night was, if you really want to make money in crypto, go and work in the space. And that's when I realized I actually used to work for an oil company back in the day, doing B2B. And I realized I could actually go and do a lot of this stuff, right? I looked at a lot of the tasks that were required to work in the industry. And I realized I can do a lot of this stuff. And not only that, I have studied so much, obviously in the van, doing 60 hours a week. I went for it. So I went for an interview at this crypto exchange, and it was one of the hardest interviews I've ever done. There was 4 interviews. There was hundreds and hundreds of people that applied for the position. I think they had 300 people that applied for a position there, and they were looking for 2 people to join. And I had 4 interviews, and the last one, I didn't think I'd got the job because the last one was very technical questions, and I ended up getting the job. And it really made me realize how much I learned from being in the van and obviously studying in the space. So look, maybe you're new to crypto, you're probably not going to be able to get a job straight in the space. I probably got a bit lucky here because I'd been studying so much. I knew so many of the answers. Pretty much every question they asked me about 4-year cycles. They asked me, how do you store your crypto? And then I said, I store mine in 3 different locations. I have some of it here, some of it here, some of the seed phrase in 3 different locations, so that, if the bank get into my vault, they can't take my crypto and they don't know where this other one is. I think that was the main thing that he liked, because he turned around and said, that's exactly how we store our crypto. And I think he liked that I took security very seriously. And the exchange also split theirs into 3 different things. And I'm just a small fish, right? But I think he appreciated how seriously I took security and risk management, etc. So yeah, I answered most of the questions quite well. the way I look at it, if you do want to go and work in the space, who cares if you don't get the job, right? The worst that's going to happen is they say no and you just go on to the next. You go on to the next. You go on to the next. If you apply for 50 crypto jobs and you've got any experience in crypto, even a year, you're probably going to get one of them, right? So it's very much of a numbers game, and obviously the more experience you have, the more you're going to get paid. It was quite a well-paid job. They would fly you around the world, 5-star hotels. They would look after you. But here I learned a lot as well, and obviously I was working with some TradFi people who taught me TradFi things. So I really learned a lot from being here, engagement and strategy, and advanced Discord builds, partnerships, budgets and timelines. The loads of different skills that I learned here, and I worked for some other crypto exchange companies as well. So then eventually what I did is I ended up working 2 jobs. So eventually I was working my main job, and then I was working a second self-employed job, right? So this is kind of a cool way to do side hustles. So you get your full pay, you get your pay from your full-time job. So let's say you're earning, I don't know, for example, 4K a month from your main job, and then from your second job, which is self-employed, then you can make another 4K a month. So this is a cool strategy. This is basically like doing 2 full-time jobs. And what I found myself is I was employed to work here for 8 hours, and I was kind of supposed to work here for 8 hours. But both jobs required me to just get the job done, right? It didn't matter how long it took me to do it. As long as the work was done by the end of the week and I had the report on the table, they didn't really care whether I worked 6 hours or 5 hours. It was one of those industries. So there's loads of different industries like that. Social media marketing is one of them. If you're a social media manager, they don't care how you get the job done as long as it's done by the end of the week, which we're going to talk about why that's a very powerful thing. So that's probably my go-to. This is where I'd go to. Now, if you're an absolute psychopath, you could do this 3 or 4 times and you could do 12K a month, right? So you could have 3 jobs. So you have your main job. You don't even have to be employed, right? You could do 3 self-employed jobs. But let's just say you're employed. This is your bread and butter. This pays your rent. This pays your bills. This gets food on the table. And then this is all extra cash, right? So if you're working 2 extra jobs here, self-employed, this is now all extra cash you can do what you like with, right? So imagine having an extra 8 grand a month to put into crypto, to put into stocks. Hey, maybe you want to put some of this into real estate. Maybe you put 4K a month into a savings plan that's going to go into your deposit on some real estate, and then you put 2K into crypto, 2K into stocks, whatever. It gives you that opportunity to escape the matrix, to get out of the game, right? Because if you're just working one job and you're paying your bills from this, you're paying your bills, you're paying your rent, you're paying for your family, maybe you want to even go and do something nice, it doesn't leave you with a lot of money, and you end up chucking whatever little cash you have, let's say 500, into the market. You lose it. You can't afford to lose this money, and it's going to make you depressed. It's going to make you angry. It's going to make you sad, and it's going to affect you mentally. This, to me, is the key to escaping the matrix. Now, should we have to work 3 jobs? No. We live in first world country. We should not have to work 3 jobs just to get some money to invest. People in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, they were buying houses for $20,000 that are now worth $1 million, right? One of the biggest booms. It's probably now is one of the hardest times in all times. Yes, I know they used to earn a few dollars back then, but if you actually compare how much they earn and were able to invest in compared to what we make, a single man or woman could buy a home on their basic job back then, right? In the 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. They could buy a home. And they could buy multiple homes, actually. And, those homes would now be worth $1 million. And if you do the same today, if you buy a house today, you're probably looking at, $1 million. It would be like it'd be the same as it being worth like $1 billion or something. The growth has been insane. I think it's been like 1,000x growth that they went through. And earnings compared to what they were have just come down, down, down. So what do? Do we cry about this? It's not fair. Cost of living so high. I'm so fed up with this. I'm going to move to a third world country. Or do we take accountability and say, hey, I can't change my surroundings, but one thing I can change is myself. and I'm going to go the extra mile. Shout out to David Goggins, because I don't think I would have achieved what I did without reading David Goggins' book. I think I talked about it here somewhere. You can go and read this back, guys, or pause the screen if you want. But I read Goggins' book, and it changed my life. Here you go. After reading Goggins Can't Hurt Me, I turned into an actual beast. This book changed my life forever. I went from struggling to do uni and a part-time job. Yeah, because I was really struggling to do this night shift, and I was considering dropping to part-time. And then I started asking for extra hours. So I carried on doing my full-time and then asked for even more hours. That book changed my life. Go and read it if you haven't read it. And I will say reading is phenomenal as well. So I was doing audiobooks here and there on the van, on the road as well, which also motivated me. So the motivational books were like keeping me going, keeping me level-headed, stopping me getting fatigued. And then the crypto upgrades were improving my investment skills, right? So I was killing two birds with one stone. So yeah, imagine having an extra 8K a month. So imagine you make 4K a month right now. Imagine having an extra 8K a month. You would be on £12,000 a month. And it's quite simple to do this, right? Are you going to be tired? Yes. Are you going to be run down? Absolutely. Is it going to be easy? No. Do you have to do this forever? No. If you do this for 10 months and you manage to get an extra 8K on the side, you have £80,000 in 10 months of hell. Just 10 months of hell, you have 80,000. If you can learn how to 10x that investing, that's £800,000 that you have earned just in 10 months. So for me, that's worth it, right? That's worth it for me personally. Now, is any of this guaranteed? Absolutely not. We're all taking risks. There's always risks with anything you're doing. Not financial advice. You can lose all your money investing in anything. But I think we have proven ourselves on this channel. We've got to number one in the space. I was a delivery driver. 5 years ago. Now we're number one in the world on finance, on the Patreon finance section, right? So, we've kind of proved ourselves. We've made some amazing calls, and I feel like we've got some amazing strategies in stocks, in crypto, and I'm even doing real estate now that are going to help us to grow and expand. So this is what I would do. Now, mentally, another thing that I did was I started to learn how to 10x and 20x money, right? I made 20x and 10x in crypto, and I started to think about my earnings differently. So when I was going to work, I was saying to myself, right, if I earn £100 on this night shift, I'm not actually earning £100 because I know how to 10x this £100 now by getting into assets early and selling when everyone is frothing at the mouth, when everyone wants to buy, then I'm going to sell. So I'm actually earning 1K a day. And then I said, if I can actually 20x this, then I'm on 2K a day. I'm on £2,000 a day. So just in a week, I could be on, so I'm working 6 nights a week. So I could either be on £6,000 a week, or I'm on £12,000 a week, right? That's the way I started to look at it mentally. I'm not earning £100 a day here, right? If I 10x this. Now, if I lose it, I'm working for free, right? I'm working for nothing. But that's a risk I was prepared to take. How worse can things get? I'm driving a van. I'm a delivery slave, right? Working in the cold and the snow and the rain. Getting chased around by dogs around people's gardens. It was depressing. How worse can things get? I'm prepared to take some risks here to try and change my life. So yeah, that's kind of how the delivery thing went. Did I know it was all going to work out and I'd be here in Dubai making hundreds of thousands trading? No. I didn't know it was going to work out, but I just fully committed to it. And I stuck to the plan. I stuck to the strategy. I didn't take too much risk. I diversified into loads of different assets. I didn't get this cult-like mentality. I went into Casper and I went into these different blockchains rather than, staying on this cult-like, I'm just going to hold this diamond hand. And I took profits, right? When everyone was frothing, I said, guys, I've made a lot of money. I'm taking some profits off the table for the bear market. And it worked out. What would I do now? I probably wouldn't do the van. Now, that's because I've already studied. So I would 100% make time to study. I'm still studying crypto now and stocks, right? I'm in paid groups myself. I'm in very expensive groups. Some of my expenses for my groups and tools are thousands of dollars a month. But I don't need to do that. I just want to constantly be better. I want to always be better. I want to be here in next year much better, more skill, more experience. The next year. And as long as I keep studying, I should keep getting better, which hopefully means that my decisions are going to be better. My portfolio is going to consistently grow. I'm not going to make stupid mistakes. I'm not going to get greedy. I'm not going to get too fearful. So you have to think about your experience level and the time you have to study. If you want to just make money right now, if your main goal is to make money, this is what I would do. Social media manager. Very, very easy. Now, why is this great? You don't really need any skills to be a social media manager. We all use Instagram, we all use Facebook, right? We all use these social media platforms. We know how to hashtag. We know how to create a post. We know what gets engagement, what doesn't. If you ask open questions, you're probably going to get some more engagement than asking closed questions, etc. Not only that, AI is phenomenal for social media management. So the AI is actually going to do most of the work for you when it comes to social media manager. I think that if I was broke today, so let's say I hit rock bottom, I had to start from scratch, I couldn't do crypto. I couldn't be a crypto analyst or market analyst. I would do social media management, and I would do probably as many jobs as I could possibly do. I think I could probably be a social media manager for 20 or 30 different companies, and I would just keep applying for jobs until I couldn't possibly do anymore. And it's so easy to do social media management. And So I would probably go out and just apply for as many as possible. And I think social media manager, if you're a really, really good social media manager, some people will pay you 10K a month. Now, I mean, you need to be the best of the best, right? You need to be able to make very, very custom artwork and content, and even video graphics as well. So if you're the best of the best, 10K a month, let's go worst case scenario. Let's go 2K a month, right? As a social media manager. Now, if you do that, if you get 2 jobs, you're already on 4K a month, right? Your third job in social media management, which I would argue you probably get in week 1 if you work your ass off and you apply for enough jobs, you're on 6 grand a month, right? And then you start scaling, 8 grand, 10 grand. And very, very easy to do, right? Very, very easy to do. Now, the cool thing about AI is it's going to do most of the work for you. You could literally say, you could type in AI, hey, I work for this company, this company, this company, this company. One is pets. They do work in social media content around dogs. One is a website company. They create websites for new startup companies. One is, I don't know, a garden firm. They do gardening. You could literally tell AI all of the jobs that you do, and you could say, I'm actually working for all of these companies right now. I want you to create me a 30-day calendar with posts for each company, when to post it, and I want you to create a timeline for me to do that. And AI will understand everything. It will be able to go to their websites. It will be able to read each one's website, understand exactly who their target audience is. Because you guys, if you're new to social media managing, you won't know too much about lookalike audiences and target audiences, who your audience is, what they behave like, things like that. If you really want to get into the deep social media management, I would say go and learn it, because you're going to be able to learn it in a few weeks to a month, and it's going to bring in money for the rest of your life, because you can just work so many jobs in social media management. If you don't really care and you're just like, I'm just going to get AI to do it, fine. AI will be able to do most of it. I'd say be a little bit careful that it's not very AI. It doesn't look very AI. So you go in and edit it, make it slightly human. There's even AI applications now that make things human, right? So you can humanize an AI post so that it can't be detected as AI, right? It's really cool. And, it's a cool way to get through the AI checkers. So yeah, you can do this multiple times. And AI will actually give you a calendar, and it will say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it will say at 1 p.m. post this here, at 2 p.m. post this here, at 2:30 post this on this company, 3 p.m. post this on this company, post this on this company. It will literally tell you what to do all day for your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs. And it will also be really good ideas. And if you don't like the ideas, you can say, hey, really cool, I don't like the ideas for this one. Can you give me some more ideas for that? I would also run it through multiple different AIs. So you could run this through ChatGPT, you could run this through Gemini, you could run this through Grok, and they would all give you this routine, and they would all give you slightly different content, and you can go through Gemini, Grok, and ChatGPT and pick which one you like the most, or maybe you can get an extra post in here or there. Very easy work, very easy to do. It gives you loads of free time, social media management. The companies don't really care too much what you get up to in your spare time. As long as you're getting the work done, they'll give you a target. Like, we want posts on here, we want posts on here, we want original content. AI is so good at making original content now, and even really unique content. They'll give you your tasks. And I would bet I might even do, I don't have the time, but I could, it would be a cool challenge. I reckon I could make 20 grand a month doing social media management in a month. I reckon if you gave me 4 weeks, I would send out 300 CVs. They would be the most ridiculous CVs you've seen. And I would send out 300 CVs, and I reckon I would have 10 jobs, full-time jobs in social media managing, and I would be on 20 grand a month. And what would I be doing that 20 grand a month? You don't want to know my bills in Dubai, okay? Because my bills in Dubai are a lot. But if I was still living where I used to live, my bills were about 1.5k a month. And if I'm making 20 grand a month, that leaves me with 18.5k to invest every single month. Crazy amount of money to change your life with, right? Crazy amount of money. Is it a lot of work? Yes, it's going to be a lot of work. Nothing's going to come easy, guys. If you want to change your life, you're competing against people like me. You're competing against everyone else you see on social media, everyone else you see on YouTube. Look at Elon Musk. Look what Elon had to go through to get to where he is today. He was getting no sleep. He was sleeping in the factory. But, now he's the richest person in the world. Do you think that anyone was successful had it fall on their lap? Do you think it came easy? It just rolled on their lap? No. They had to make sacrifices. They had to sacrifice their friends. They had to sacrifice their family because they didn't want to be a slave anymore. They didn't want to work in a factory. They didn't want to be a delivery driver. They wanted the Louis Vuitton bag. They didn't want to be poor anymore, and they made the sacrifices. And sometimes the universe has a funny way of rewarding you when you really push yourself to the limits, when you're really like, I'm so dead, kill me, right? I've had enough of this. The universe kind of gives way, and it's like a river, right? You just keep going, and it kind of makes way for you. That's probably my go-to, and I'm going to talk about social media management on the channel, on the side hustles. Maybe what we'll do is build a CV, and I'll show you how I take some of my basic skills and put them on a CV, and then how I would apply for jobs maybe as well. What I did to get, I'll just tell you briefly what I did to get the job at the crypto exchange. I literally just went to CoinMarketCap, I went to exchanges, and I went through every single exchange, and I sent my CV to all of them. I went to the website, I looked for the email. The email was on the website, it said join us, we're hiring now, recruiting now. And I went through every single exchange on a CoinMarketCap, and then I sent my CV in. And some of them come back to me, some of them didn't. And then the ones that did, I ended up getting hired, right? I ended up getting a job, which changed my life, because I ended up getting inside the crypto market and earning good money, and also learning at the same time. The crypto industry is cool. It's going to be hard to work multiple jobs working in the crypto industry, but the crypto industry is cool because you learn about crypto non-stop, which has saved me a lot of money, like avoiding things like privacy and sectors that I knew were going to struggle. So what's next on the list? We probably won't go through all of these, just the ones that I would do now. Content creator, video editor, 100%. AI video editing. So on the content creation side, I've actually experimented with this, and I've made some music videos. That's a sector where you could make a lot of money making music videos for artists. They would pay a decent artist, if they really want a professional video, they would pay thousands for a decent video. Smaller artists, even smaller artists, would pay a few $100s for a video that would take you very little time. So you have to work out, how long is it going to take me to make this? Make sure your pricing is accurate. And there's a lot of money to be made there, and I can show you guys how to create videos with AI. Video editor is cool because there is AI video editors now. So each one of these side hustles, what you want to ask yourself, is this going to be manual labor, or am I going to be able to use AI to leverage this? Am I going to be able to use AI to help me? And there's some really cool video editors that edit content. I'm actually looking for a video editor at the moment. There was someone in my Discord who messaged me about being a video editor for me, but I didn't hear back from them. Yeah, I want someone to take my content, turn it into little clips, edit it with like text over it, but just go out and market it themselves, right? And create the channels and market it. So that's quite easy to do. I think it's called Opus Clip is the AI platform where you can do that. Video editor is cool. It's a little bit hard to get the orders because you've got to get through to creators, and creators often get DM'd by a lot of people offering a lot of things. So quite hard to get the creators. If you went to a networking event, it would be a lot easier to lock down those creators. So I would create a business card and then just go out to an event and say, hey, you're a content creator, I edit videos, do you need someone to edit your videos? But also, yeah, the AI does that. It's quite a well-paid industry. The editors do charge a lot for high-quality videos. I think some editors make 10, 20 grand a month editing videos for like established YouTubers. So it's quite an interesting sector. I would be for all in social media manager. This would be slightly harder, but I would also do this maybe on the side if I was looking. These are not the top 10 for no skills, so these are like the top 10 if you have some skills. You can learn how to edit videos if you don't have any experience. ChatGPT will literally guide you and train you in a week. I'd be very surprised if you didn't know how to edit videos within 7 days. Copywriter, email marketing specialist. I don't really like this one because it's very niche. And to be if you're going to get a job in email marketing, it's not very well paid. And you need to know how to do that. You need to know how to do email marketing. It does take some skills and some knowledge. And you're also going to need the right specific client because not many people are doing email marketing. And then they're going to be asking you for like the conversion rates, which you're not really going to know how to do. These are not so good. Virtual assistant, look, it's very going to be hard to do 3-4 virtual assistant jobs. It's possible, yes. Then you're going to need the clients if you're doing it self-employed. You could try to get this employed, but then you're not going to be able to do more than one job, right? You can't do more than one employed job. Customer support or tech agent, easy to get, but again, hard to do multiple jobs. I don't like that. I did post down here... I did post down here, give 10 jobs with little experience. So here we go. Virtual assistant, beginner level. Virtual assistant, you could do multiple jobs for a virtual assistant. Yeah, you could do jobs. There's probably agencies that would hire for this role as well, to become a virtual assistant. You don't really need many skills. It's just going to be emails, scheduling, basic admin. So what would I do? I would go onto job boards. I would look for virtual assistant, self-employed, and then I would apply for as many as possible, and try and do as many as I could. You are going to have to think, if you're a virtual assistant and you've got to take calls, are you going to be able to take calls from 2 different companies, 3 different companies at the same time? Probably not. If it's just email, scheduling, basic admin, you could do multiple jobs there. The best bang for your buck is going to be social media management because they actually pay well. They're always in demand. There's always jobs. Think how many new companies are starting up. Even a small company needs social media managers. Large companies need multiple social media managers. And it tends to be paid well because it's like the face of the company. So people don't hesitate to actually invest a little bit of money into it. Customer support, chat agent. Again, you have to remember you're going to be chatting, so you're probably not going to be able to chat to multiple different jobs. I don't like that one. Data entry, yes. Data entry actually is pretty good because you can link this to AI. So they might give you a task. You might get lucky and get a job for a boomer that doesn't understand that most of this can be done with AI, especially Gemini's latest update. It's really good at reading spreadsheets and data. and creating spreadsheets. So there might be data entry jobs where you actually, they've been doing it manually and they're probably not up to date with what AI can do, where you could actually do all of it with AI. Imagine that, right? They give you an 8-hour job that you could do in 3 minutes with AI. And then you get 10 of those data entry jobs with self-employed with different agencies, and you've got AI doing the whole thing, right? And then you've got all the free time on the side. It wouldn't surprise me if I went out and looked for data entry jobs and it gave the specific task, and then I realized that I can do this with AI. And not only can I do it with AI, I can get 3 other AIs to check it for mistakes, right? Social media posting assistant. So we've already talked about social media manager. Online reviewer, content moderator, task review posts, approve images. Yeah, that's another thing. It's going to be hard to do that for multiple jobs, but I guess you could, if you've got specific targets to hit, you could do that with multiple jobs. Canva designer, simple graphics, templates. I mean, there's not going to be many of those jobs. They're just going to wrap it into social media manager. Appointment setter, we're getting pretty bad now. Research assistant's pretty good, actually. Google research, gathering lists, finding info. AI is going to be able to do all of that for you. I don't know how many research assistant positions are going to be available because of how good AI is now at doing that now. Obviously, a human research assistant is going to be better, and AI is going to make mistakes. I'm sure some of you are going to say AI doesn't get everything right. This is why I cross-check and I get Grok to fact-check it and check it across multiple different AIs. And sometimes an AI will say, yes, I haven't seen news about this doesn't look accurate, etc. It is going to get more and more accurate over time, though. Research assistant, yeah, I think you're going to struggle there. Transcription, listen and type. Again, AI is getting really good with transcription, but you might get some stuff there. Amazon eBay store assistant, task, listing products, updating descriptions, responding to customers. So I think we're probably looking at, my top 3 are going to be data entry on this section, data entry, customer support, so answering chats and emails, very easy to do, multiple jobs. And then my go-to, I know I would get rich just doing social media management. If let's say you're looking at this right now and you're like, I think I'm going to go for this social media management play and I'm going to use some of that income to invest. What's your first priority? It's not going to be getting a job, is it? It shouldn't be getting a job. It should be, I'm going to go onto YouTube, because don't forget, YouTube is a free university. And not only is it a free university, you learn from people who are better than your university lectures, right? This is one thing I realized about going to uni. I was learning from dropout musicians. I was learning from musicians who had never made it in the real world, who had never played at a stadium, who had never gone on tour, right? Just people who understood music but hadn't actually successfully made it in the music world. And you know, it was a little bit awkward, right? Because I could go onto YouTube and learn from people who make hundreds of millions of dollars, who have toured the world, who have their own stadium sellouts, teaching me how they make music and why they make music in the way they did. So YouTube, in my opinion, is better than university. It's a free university where you learn from people who have actually made it in life, who are actually millionaires, who have been where you are, who used to work in a factory, used to work on a building site, and now are showing you how they got to where they are, right? The stages they went through reading, through grafting, through hustling, through working multiple jobs, through working all through the night, and then learning how to invest and working in the space, right? Working in the crypto space, and then climbing all the way up to number one. These are the people that you learn from on YouTube. So you're not just learning from people who say they can do this or say they can do that, or, you know, I have some experience in this sector. Why would you be a uni teacher if you could be touring, if you could be touring the world doing this or that, right? Most people, most of the teachers at uni either didn't make it, or they genuinely had a passion for helping students, genuinely had a passion for helping kids, but they're obviously making a lot less money there. So we can agree most of them didn't make it in their sectors. So YouTube is such a blessing that we have this free YouTube, and I wouldn't be at this free university, and I wouldn't be where I am today without YouTube. Now I say YouTube, I'm not too crazy about YouTube. I mean the platform, as in the niche, or what's the word? The content form that we're able to get free content, right, from people who have made it. So I would go to YouTube and I would study my arse off, and I would search for things like how to be a social media manager for beginners, top 10 things that people don't realize or understand when it comes to social media management. I would search for as many different subjects around social media management as I could. Biggest mistakes people make in social media management, how to start a new Twitter account, how to start a new Instagram account, what hashtags to use. I would at least spend 1 week to 2 weeks learning as much as I could, absorbing it, taking it in. I guarantee you, after 1 or 2 weeks of just smashing all that content, you're going to be so much better, and you're going to have such a greater understanding of social media management than you have right now. And when you go into an interview and they ask you a question, it's going to be so fresh in your brain that you're going to know the answer, right? They're going to say to you, what's the most important thing about social media marketing? And you're going to probably come back and say, making sure that the content is engaging, right? And making sure that people comment on the post, or like the post, or retweet the post, so that the algorithm senses it as good in data, it's good information, and then it's going to share it on to other people, right? They might ask you what's the worst thing, or what's the worst thing that could happen for a social media manager, and that would be maybe a security breach, right? That's why I take security very seriously, and I make sure I have 2FA set up when I'm managing my clients' accounts, etc. They want you to know the answers, so you're only going to know the answers in your interview if you do a little bit of studying. You don't have to do crazy studying, but you are going to have to do some studying. And just remember, the worst they can say is no, and someone else is going to say yes anyway, right? So the worst they can say is no. You can't lose. You can't lose. Eventually you're going to win. It's a numbers game. Obviously, the more you study and the more skilled you get in understanding the sector you want to make a lot of money in, then it's going to be easier for you to nail those first few interviews. But you're going to pick it up in time. And there's nothing wrong with starting in a junior role, right? Just because we're trying to get 2-3K for these positions, maybe 4-5K, maybe you can get 6K, 7K. Just because we're trying to get as much as possible, it doesn't mean that we won't go for the junior roles. We'll go for the junior roles. It's a great experience for us, right? And it's going to be good to have a junior role on the CV. Maybe I do a junior role for 3 months, and I learned so much on the junior role that I decided to go and apply for 20 other full-time advanced jobs that pay more, and now I have that on my CV and that experience, and now I already know all these cool AI tools, because they might ask you, actually, do you use AI tools? And some of them aren't going to like AI tools, right? I guarantee when you go for a social media job, they're probably going to not like when people say, yeah, I use a lot of AI tools. They're going to want people to create custom, unique content. So maybe like, hey, I use AI tools, but I also make sure that it's unique to the company, to the brand, and I make sure that it's coming from a place of research, etc. That's my favorite sector for job side hustles. Now we're going to talk about other side hustles on the channel, like buying and selling things on eBay, getting stuff for free on Facebook Marketplace and selling it. I think the fastest way, if I wanted to get rich quick, the fastest way is working, right? I think I'm going to make more money doing 10, 20 social media manager roles than I could ever do buying and selling stuff, right? Buying stuff getting stuff for free on Facebook and then trying to list it and sell it. I think I'm going to make so much more money, and it's going to be so fast. I think within 4 weeks I'd be on 20 grand a month. And then I'm going to be investing that into the stocks and crypto. That's going to scale. If I'm buying at the right times, then I'm probably going to allocate maybe 20% to leverage trading and try and hit some leverage trades here and there. That would be my fastest way. After that, yeah, look, I definitely have I definitely have options for like side hustles, like buying and selling stuff on eBay, etc. maybe starting like a glamping thing, with camping. I mean, some of these things are they sound easy to do, like setting up a glamping site. They sound easy to do, they're not. They come with initial costs. A lot of these things come with quite big initial costs. And they're very seasonal, right? Because I was quite interested in starting a glamping site, and it can be very hard in the winter. You don't have customers. Same with B&B. Airbnbs depends where your place is, what you're doing. So this video is really about the fastest way, and these two are probably the fastest way. The video editor and content creator, in high demand, but you're also in high demand from people who earn a lot of money, right? If someone comes to me and says, I like your videos, I can do this and this and this on these different channels, and it's probably going to increase your followers, massively. In fact, I'll even do it at a 50% discount and prove that we can increase your income and followers. It's very easy to pitch a large creator, and the large creators earn a lot of money and are really interested in this as well. So this is quite high value. It's not going to be super easy to lock down those clients, but if you can build up a show reel and get a few clients locked down, this business can grow into something special, and you could make a lot of money here. And not only that, you can outsource it as well. So once you get really busy, you can start to take on people who can do the work for you, and that's where you really start to escape velocity. If you've got so many editing jobs that you can't do it yourself, you literally hire someone to do them and take a lot of that income and just start paying people to do it, and then it's your own business, right? Let me know what you guys think. What sectors you're interested in. What videos do you want me to do? Any side hustles you've seen that look cool that I can research? Let me know what you think. Do you want to see more of these side hustle videos as we go into the bear market? I think it's quite a good way to generate some extra income, some side hustle income. And I mean, you don't have to go psycho mode like I'm saying, get 5-10 jobs, run yourself down. I mean, maybe you don't have the time for that. Maybe you've got a family and you just want one of these side jobs. I mean, I could take on one of these social media side jobs and AI would do most of the work. You could even get AI if you get really into AI. There's an AI that will actually post them for you as well. I wouldn't advocate that because if it starts posting the wrong stuff or at the wrong times or its punctuation's not right, people are going to know that you're just completely automating the job. You could automate. I'm sure there's people out there who are literally doing social media manager fully auto, right? They've probably got an AI agent that literally works for them full time and they don't do anything, because an AI agent could literally do that right now. So yeah, I mean, if that's something you're interested in, that I would deep dive AI agents, because they could pretty much do everything. Let me know what you guys thought. Don't forget, guys, none of the information in this video is financial advice. Do your own research. Investing in anything, investing in crypto is highly risky. You can lose all of your money investing in anything. I'm not a financial advisor, so always do your own research first. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the channel if you want to stay up to date with more videos like this that we do, and you don't want to miss out on any of our content. If you want to join our community, so if you want to join the Discord and you want to see all my buy and sell alerts, all my trades that I'm taking, when I'm buying, when I'm selling. I opened up a short recently on XRP. See, when we had this sell signal from the SMC bot, I actually entered into a short position, which is doing quite well. This SMC bot also comes free with the Discord as well. So you see this buy and sell signals in TradingView. It gives these buy and sell signals on different assets, cryptos, stocks, etc. And you can see here it flash buy and then it flash sell here. And I'm in that short. It's doing quite well. So yeah, you get that in your own TradingView when you join us. So search this one, not the top one. Search the bottom one. That's going to take you to the Patreon. Sorry, it's going to take you to my X. And then click this link. That'll take you to where you can join us, and then you get involved in the Discord, and you can see all of our buy and sell alerts, all the trades that we're taking inside the Discord. That's it for now, guys. Until then, I will catch you in the next one.